Okay, so I was playing through the second level, and then the game froze halfway through. That has to be like at most the third time in my entire life a PlayStation 2 game has frozen on me. And since I didn't save, I had to go play through the first level again. But on the plus side, that means I do have Bullet Dance now, so you'll be seeing that in this level. I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me. Now, I am going to be calling a bit of Johns on this one, in that I'm having a hard time seeing what all's going on, because when you're watching a very dark YouTube video, you're having trouble seeing what's going on inside it because your eyes aren't adjusting to the darkness of the video player because of the bright whiteness of the surrounding YouTube page. But when you enlarge the video, then you can see what's going on because your eyes adjust. Well, the way the Elgato I'm recording with works is that you see a very small window on your computer screen that cannot be enlarged, and it is surrounded by a white background. So my eyes cannot afford to adjust, so thus I'm just going to see most of a black screen. Half of what I'm going through is by memory, so there goes a lot of my reaction, and then again, I haven't played this game in like 10 years. I used to know exactly where every enemy spawned. That's how often I played this game. There's the first guy with the rockets. Now, in case you hadn't noticed, because of the size of the guns and the size of the bullets and Grave's costume and the fact that he's carrying that huge coffin around and a few of the other things, and heck, if you hadn't noticed that this game's called Gungrave, this game is a little bit over the top. Well, Epsilon, does that really give it an excuse to have infinite ammunition? Kinda. Yeah, a lot of games that just have infinite ammunition as a gameplay mechanic, because there's just no reason to add on the added problem of, trying to have to reload and find more ammo. Even the anime, it's like, he had every single last bullet that he would ever need until, store reasons say that he needs to, run out of ammo. And the anime said that, you had that one, the black bar on the underside of the barrel. Yeah, apparently that's where the magazine is. I don't know how the heck that works, but again, this game, the whole series, is a little bit over the top. This is done by, I think his name's Yoshiro Night Owl. This is the guy who made Gungrave is the same guy who did Trigun. In fact, I believe they're called Thomases. The big bird things. Yeah, if you watch Trigun, the big bird things that they're always riding on, and then you watch the Gungrave anime, there's a horse race, except instead of horses, they're riding Thomases. So these two franchises are taking place in the same universe. Now, the thing about the anime is that the anime came out around the same time that Gungrave Overdose, the sequel to this game, came out. So it was trying to incorporate parts of both games, but at the same time it changed some stuff. I was going to talk to you about Seed, which is the drug in this game. Later on, you're going to see some guys who are complete stark white albino type characters that are rather clearly more powerful than your average human. Those guys are... It's explained in the games that those guys came about because they took a lot of Seed. It's never explained why these people get into Seed in the first place, or too much about it. It's no, Seed's just this drug that's out there that's apparently highly addictive, and anybody who takes too much of it becomes those white soldiers for the Syndicate. But in the anime, it's described as you have this thing called the necrolization process, which is how Grave is walking around. Because yeah, Grave is a guy who died and then was brought back through the necrolization process. And the anime described the Seedmen, the Kurofuko, I believe that they're called in this game. I can't remember what their English name is, but yeah, it's like after the Necrolization Project went about, some other scientists came up to the guys in the Syndicate and said, hey, you know that process of turning dead guys into, like, bringing them back to life and then basically making them Terminators? Well, what if we did that exact same process, but on someone who's still alive? And that's where the white guys come from. I'll be honest, I got a little lost while trying to tell that story. And it's up here that I always used my first demolition shot, the death blow. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Is that time slowdown intentional, or is that just frame rate dropping? Honestly, I can't remember. It could be either. And I know some of you, the rest of you are thinking, holy crap, that coffin's actually a huge gun? Yes! It's not just a melee weapon. Well, it's technically several guns, because the one side is a rocket launcher, and the other side is a very powerful machine gun. It fires like bullets as fast as a minigun, but it's not technically a minigun because of how the barrel's shaped. And that's the thing, is like, some people actually theorize is like it's in the coffins where he keeps all his bullets for his two handguns, which I don't think that's true. And I'll show you how bullet dance works down here. Oh, that's so much fun! Now, yeah, I am kind of getting into spoiler territory with, like, the white guys who haven't shown up yet, and the fact that Graves actually a walking corpse, basically. But, well, the thing is, I plan on playing the sequel immediately after this, which will actually bring up a lot of the stuff that isn't described, because, the Seedmen, the Kurofuko, those aren't, directly addressed in this game. But the thing is, because Gungrave Overdose has a much larger story and 3 playable characters, it doesn't leave me a whole heck of a lot of room to talk about some of this stuff in there, as opposed to what this game does. So I'm getting some of the stuff, like, right off the bat in here, before we move on to Gungrave Overdose. Oh man, I freaking hate these guys with their freaking rocket launchers. They're a lot easier to deal with in the second game. Because like I said, you can deflect rockets in the second game. This is something I've always kind of wondered. What kind of caliber do you think those Graves guns are? His guns are called Cerberus, and they were made by, like, some mad scientist. Do you think that he, like, made them after a distinct model, or... here, this is why I like having bullet dance for this level. Because it just kills the boss straight off. And those guys watching Grave walk away, those are the Kurofuko, or Kurofuku, I think they're called. The Seedmen. So yeah, they'll be showing up in the next level, and we unlocked Hellhound Roar, which is the 3rd demolition shot. You won't be seeing that too much because it just looks like Death Blow, except he fires off 3 rockets. But anyway, like I was saying about the guns, the anime never goes into where Graves' guns come from. It never actually says. They say where they come from in the second game, that some mad scientist created them, and it's implied that the 2 that Grave has are the only ones like it. They're the only ones in existence. So, are they made, like, with other bullets in mind, despite the fact that they are 2 of the most powerful handguns ever created? Or do they have, like, custom-made rounds? But considering how many bullets Grave fires off, did the mad scientist just create these guns and then just make a billion rounds? Or is there somebody out there making rounds specifically for these super unique guns? And something else that the anime explains that the games never do, Tokioka prefers to be called T because it's a type of punishment for him. Like, he's forsaking his own name as a type of punishment, and also because of the fact that, well, he needs to be called something, so he's just going to be called T. But the thing is, he's the guy who created the Necrolization Project, which is in his own mind, an abomination, because he's bringing dead people back to life. So, partially, he wants to punish himself by getting rid of his name, and also he doesn't want his name attached to it, because it's just a constant reminder. But he still needs to be called something, so he just calls himself T. And I'll just save here, and then we'll carry on to the next episode.